All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 95, NFC North Division Fantasy Football Targets. And we're going to do a sleeper mock draft. Once again, I am NFLOutdated. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok and all that. And I am joined by RevTrev. Thanks for joining us again tonight. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
Hey, Andy, welcome to the greatest fantasy episode ever. Don't chuck it. I'm doing well, man. You can find me on RevTrevNFL on all platforms, basically. Love talking about the NFL, love talking about the Packers, love talking about NFC North. So I, too, am on TikTok as well. It's been a minute since I've posted. I just find, Andy, this is the most boring time in the world. I am so sick of watching slow motion highlights of OTAs and there's no defender and everyone's like, oh my goodness, he's amazing. And it's like, maybe
against air. Yeah. I was going to say that too. Like, and there's so many, storylines are, over and over again on the off season. And obviously, we do fantasy football a lot, as many football fans do, and a lot of us are doing rookie drafts or different drafts, redrafts, whatever. So I know I wanted to do a fantasy football target for the division and just kind of see where all of the players maybe land in a mock draft. And Trevor, you suggested doing this live, and I loved it. And there's so many different platforms. You suggested Sleeper. Why did you suggest Sleeper?
Well, Sleeper is the best platform right now out there. There's only a couple small things I don't like. I love everything else. And one of them is what we're going to show people here. You can do these mock drafts and invite friends, or just do them by yourself, or just to get a sense of what the market is. But I do love how you can private message people, work on deals, send offer. I mean, every platform has send offers, but they seem to be the best so far. I've been a diehard Yahoo fantasy football guy. In fact, my most important league still there. I've done everything else. I've done the NFL.coms and the ESPNs and all
NFLs.
Those things.
Yeah.
And they're fine. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's just that everyone that I know always says, like, Sleeper goes to the next level. And so plus it's fun to do mock drafts like we're going to do tonight.
Absolutely. And I'm really curious. Obviously, we have some intrigue within the division. The Bears with new players, Caleb Williams, the Vikings with, we'll see with what Addison might bring in the second year from what he did. The Lions as well, a lot of hype on their offense. But even as a Bears fan, the thing that most intrigues me as far as a fantasy football perspective is the Green Bay Packers wide receivers. Because, as you know, we talked about, there's no number one wide receiver. I am currently in a dynasty league, and we're kind of going through, and there's a few Packer fans in that. So I just went ahead and drafted Romeo Doubs to stash away later. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's number one. Maybe he's not. Coincidentally enough, in that draft, in that dynasty draft, Jaden Reed was drafted ahead of Doubs. So I don't know. What the thoughts were on that. But it'll be really interesting to see kind of the mock draft and kind of what the, computers, generate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's all kinds of strategies, and certain people say, this is the way you can do this. And if you do it this way, you're going to win a championship. I think there's multiple ways to be able to win championships. In the past, I've done a lot of fantasy football content because I like to do things like this, win championships. And this is a fantasy football ring. Honestly, it's fun to get. It's fun to win. In fact, the one league I'm in with you, first year, I fluked out and won the league. Now, granted, it was when Hamill got hurt and there's lots of controversy. So we split the earnings. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I think there's multiple ways to win championships, but the key is that you have to be able to compete so that you can contend to win a championship. you kind of have to have some of the base foundations in, and it's not just one way to win.
No, and it starts in the draft. Obviously, you have to, pick some of the premium players, but maybe get a little bit lucky. But if you don't know how to draft and you're not really paying attention, things can kind of get away from you. So just kind of coming in prepared. I'm not, one now that has like lists and lists. But knowing some of the players and playing over and over again, and just some of the storylines, especially in the division, I have my ears open to just kind of some of these OTA, some of these boring things that we hear about. It is kind of interesting to hear, maybe this player or that player is doing well. I mean, we don't know, right? I mean, we won't know until week 1, really, right?
Yeah, and so some of them you got to gamble on. I think the NFC North is one of the most intriguing ones because the storylines have actually changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, let's use Jefferson as the guy. Like, he was clearly number 1 or number 2 off most people's boards last year. What I'm seeing is he's number 4 because the quarterback situation changed, and so that's actually a really, really interesting. Like, wow, Jefferson's dropped. And still, I mean, you're in the top 5 pick. Like, you're still going to be really happy with this guy. He's an elite talent, but it's not a clear cut anymore. And people are like, oh, I'm a little nervous about that. And maybe they're right, because it's either Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy. And it's like, yeah, it takes you and you pause for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But the switching up of, like, say, Aaron Jones going to Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
now Caleb, by the way, DJ Moore has dropped significantly on lists, which I'm like, dude, if I could get my hands on a DJ Moore, I'm smashing that, right? So,
oh, absolutely,
I have a question for you, though. It's a love of a team fun. When you're drafting, do you not want to pick Packers players, or is it just like, I just can't, like, if you have an option to say, get like someone like Jordan Love, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is it against the fiber of a Bears fan for you to do that? But you're like, what's the plan? Do you want to try to win, or is it like, I will never have that guy on my team because I don't like him? Like, what's you, or like, I can find a comparable guy somewhere else. How do you go by drafting? Because that's an important piece.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. And I, for years as a Bears fan, I actually, knowing the Bears offense was not that good, I actually stayed away from Bears players, right?
Okay, so you did the opposite. Okay.
Right. But
right?
What's that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm saying if it's a Packers fan, but you're saying as a Bears fan, the team and you stayed away. So that's interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
You weren't
but
homering
now,
it.
So right now, I've gone back and forth between, obviously when Devontae was on the team, I was good. If he fell to me, I was going to draft him, because I knew he was going to be number 1 wide receiver. Right. Now I'm not one that's going to target Jordan Love or some of these, Packer players high, but if they fall in, a particular place and in just a good value, I will go for them. Like I was telling you, obviously the in the Dynasty League, going with Romeo Dobbs, mainly that's Dynasty, right? Because then I can use them as a chip. But for me, what I really try to do is gauge who else is in the league. If I know they're Packer fans, they're diehard Packer fans in there, I may pick a Packer player to just hold on to and trade later on. And so, like, I think I try not to, take the fandom into it. Obviously, I don't want to root for Romeo Dobbs or Jordan Love to do well, right? But if I know there's a Packer fan that's in there that I can, take that player ahead of time and hold on and maybe trade and just over the value that he was and get more back, I'm going to do it that way. So I look at it more strategically and try to play the other players that are in my league. And so I just
that's good strategy.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you don't want to root for these players on the Packers or whatever to do well, but sometimes it's better to draft them And if they're going to do well, okay, especially against a really poor defense, or keep on your bench, stash them away for a trade. So that's, I mean, obviously, sometimes that works. Sometimes you get in a league where people just don't want to trade, especially in redraft leagues.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. I think that's important to that piece is how many teams do you hate? Right. So if you hate everybody, you're just going to draft all your players. Right. But then there's the other side where sometimes we do make the homer picks. Like I find in drafts, I'm drafting too many Packers players, so I'm like, I've got to correct that. And it's not that they're not going to, but I don't know which one's going to pop. There's a couple Packers players that I think are going to have really great seasons. And then the rest I'm just not sure about. But when it comes to like Bears stuff, for example, I can't stand the Bears, as you know, but I appreciate there's value, there's talent, there's all these kind of things. So a guy like I just mentioned, DJ Moore, I'm targeting a guy like him for sure. But I can't be like, well, I don't like the Vikings either, so I'm never getting Jefferson, or I'm not, I don't want Amon St. Brown, or like it's got to be a limit, right? It's like, oh, I hate the Patriots. Well, they're crap anyways, but you know what I mean? Like whatever, Dallas Cowboys, whatever team you want to say, I'm not going to have. You can't have too many of those, or you're never going to have anybody.
Well, yeah. Number one, too, if you're drafting just pure on fandom, don't plan on winning. Right. That's just, that's not a good formula. Also, then if you're doing on fandom, yeah, you're going to have multiple players. And in some respects, it's good to have like a handcuff or whatever. And maybe, if you can get like a second wide receiver lower in the draft, just in case, that number one wide receiver gets hurt. Like, even the Bears is interesting wide receiver. Cause yes, I love Keenan Allen, but DJ Moore, he is the man. And
totally.
Keenan Allen's gonna get his yards, I think, for sure. The one really interesting piece will be, well, actually, there's two. Rome Dunze, right? I think he we'll see how long it takes for him to acclimate. So Dynasty, I'm picking him in Dynasty all day. He's got all the skills. He can also have a really good connection with Caleb early, right? So, but if I can get Rome a little bit later on, maybe I'll go with him and just kind of stash him and see. Tight end is going to be an interesting one too, because Cole Kmet, I have targeted him in the past, like last year. I really loved him because that's they had DJ Moore and him, but now I mean he's going to be the maybe third, fourth, maybe even fifth option. You get DeAndre Swift in there, and so it's when you look at the division, a lot of these players, they're not the clear cut players that they used to be. Like, okay, that's the number one wide receiver, they're going to get all the balls. Justin Jefferson, he easily is, and I mean there's a lot of Homer Vikings fans will say a lot of good things about Addison, and Addison's a good player. We've talked about that, right? But he's not Jefferson, right? Jefferson's going to get his. And I'm hearing that Sam Darnold is going to be QB1, so I'm thinking at least for the first half of the season, you're going to have Sam Darnold. And if they completely tank, like they're on their way to maybe a 3-14 season, maybe JJ gets a shot later on, but it's going to be Sam Darnold. But as you know, too, there's a lot of like Craig and some of our Vikings friends are saying that Sam Darnold is a step up from what they had last year. So they're expecting even more from Jefferson. We're on the same page.
Well, I mean, Kirk Cousins to Darnold, like that's craziness, right? I mean, at the end of the season, sure.
Yes.
Hall. Yeah, I it depends which player they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, even I think even now Cousins, definitely doesn't get as much credit as is due for him. But be that as it may, we can kind of let's bring in the sleeper draft here, and do you want to kind of go through some of our
so Andy here is NFL Outdated's drafting 4th. I'm drafting 8th, right? So I don't know where he went.
Oh, sorry. I'm still here. I got to pull it back up. But yeah, go ahead.
So
Yep.
that's something that's important there. There'll be a lot of value there. I think Jefferson might land to you at 4.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I noticed this year, Andy, is there are so many good wide receivers that
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there's a new strategy this year of landing a running back earlier than normal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's shifted. It's 0 RB. I don't think that this year is the year for 0 RB.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year is in the first 2 rounds, you want to get at least 1 running back, if not 2, and you'll be
Yes.
shocked on how good your team is if you wait, because there's always some wide receivers that bust out that you can get later. Also,
Yes.
when it comes to a 1 quarterback league, it's you need to wait on quarterback. And I'm talking round 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9, depending on what quarterback you want. So those are
Mm-hmm.
some little strategies that you want to think about.
Yeah, I mean, you really look at it, and the running backs do dry out. So I I'm definitely going, running backs a little bit early as well. So, so I am in the 4th spot. You are in the 8th spot here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
so if we start the draft and then we'll just see how it goes. There's 3 minutes in between each pick. So, oh
all right,
wow,
I am up here. Yeah, so
yeah.
it's kind of quick. So, here we go. I got the first decision right here. McCaffrey, Hill, Lamb went. Jefferson or Chase here, and see, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's would be a solid pick here too. But when you're talking about quarterback situation, who would you go here?
Well, I would go Jefferson here, but if it was running back, I think I'd go Brees Hall or Gibbs. That's who
Mm-hmm.
I would go with. But like when you're looking at this is where like Jefferson, I think is elite. Brees Hall has potential to do that. I think after Jefferson, it drops. I mean, Jamar Chase, a lot of people want to get, maybe he's in the same conversation. Those are the 2 guys that I would be like, these are exceptions of then I would wait on running back and wait till they get back. That's personally what I
Mm-hmm.
would do. But I would take one of those things personally. But you can go running back here and be very happy. There's
So
Bijan as well.
so yeah, Brees Hall still is an interesting thing, right? Coming off an injury still, right?
Mhm.
Bijan, obviously we don't know him in a new offense. He should be good. So I mean, those are going to be workhorse backs, both of them. I do like behind the Jets, the running back out of Wisconsin that is now with the Jets, and so there's some competition there. But I mean, when you talk about points wise, and the points we have a half PPR on this one, and obviously it's just a general redraft, 10 teams. Yeah, I mean, talent wise, you just have to go Jefferson, right?
I think so.
Yeah, let's go Jefferson here. See, there you go. I'm still taking him, even though he's in the. All right. Oh, and St. Brown went. So
Yeah.
that's an
So
interesting. Oh, go ahead.
this is what I'm finding is all the wide receivers go. And I know this is just
Mm-hmm.
a mock. It's just you and me in here. But if you actually go into a mock with real people, you'll be shocked how many wide receivers go because everyone believes in the 0 RB now. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just say, for example, like I'll go Brees Hall here. And
Mm-hmm.
then what I'm going to hope for is like the wide receivers is really dropped. If you click the wide receiver button there for a second, you
Mm-hmm.
got Puka, you've got Garrett Wilson. I mean, I love Devontae Adams always, but his quarterback situation is crazy.
It
I think
is.
at this
Yes.
stage is where I got to go Brees. I'll just go Brees Hall just for fun here.
Okay.
And then I'm hoping for another running back because there's great ones here. There's great ones here.
Mm-hmm. And that
So
should come back to you. Yeah.
yeah, but if I wait too long on wide receiver, like now we're talking the Olaves, the Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Debo Samuels, DJ Moores of the world, right? So I'm
So
okay with that. It's just not like where you were at with Jefferson and Brown and Chase, you know?
so the whole thing with so Puka had a hell of a season, right? And it's like we forgot who Cooper Kupp was, because now Puka is the next in wide receiver, and he's going to be a great one, right? I think, but I wonder if Cooper Kupp gets more this year too. So like I look for like wide receivers. If I'm going to have a wide receiver that high, I'd want him to be unquestioned number one. Now Puka in his second year, is he the unquestioned number one over Cooper Kupp? I don't know. Are they going to be sharing targets? Like between that, I might, Garrett Wilson might be a better choice over Puka. I mean, maybe I'm in the minority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'll take Breece Hall here, see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So Puka goes, Bijan. Oh, I was hoping that Gibbs would get back to me. So now this is where it gets crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the piece that you're talking about. Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison, which we have not seen yet. Like I'm just not there. Rookie wide receivers sometimes splash, but rarely do.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think the running back situation's a bit better, but I love Devontae Adams here. The one here that I wish if I was at your spot, I would be hoping that Josh Jacobs lands to me. Because if you look after Josh Jacobs, it goes Henry, Pacheco, White. I mean, it starts really dropping off there. And so Travis Etienne is a stud. I mean, a lot of people want Saquon Barkley here. I like all these running backs a lot. So what I'm going to do is normally I would probably pick Devontae Adams, but I'm worried about the running backs getting back to me. Maybe I'll gamble about the running back situation. I'll go I'll go a wide receiver here and keep it balanced. And I want to go Devontae. I think I should go Garrett Wilson because the quarterback situation's better. But I'll go Devontae because I'm a Packers fan and just for fun.
All right. Oh, Garrett Wilson went. Harrison. So yeah, I mean, so Harrison, like, we haven't seen him. Yes, he's a top talent, and are we banking on Kyler Murray coming back to actually be the guy that he was a few years ago? I don't know. And Kyron Williams, I was on him last year, but I'm not 100% sold on him being the guy again. We'll see on that. But all right, so I've got Jefferson. I got a wide receiver. Saquon. Do we trust Saquon in that Eagles offense? That's so weird to see.
Well, it's better than what it was, right? It's better than the Giants offense.
Yeah.
So you gotta think that. But if you feel nervous about Barkley, ETN's an incredible spot there. HN is great as well. I think this, to me, and you can do whatever you want with your team, but I would probably go running back here because after this, you're not going to. I think there's going to be great wide receivers, or you could also go the tight end route and get Laporta now.
Could get Laporta now. That's the thing too. Like sometimes you kind of try to outthink yourself and try to say, okay, well, if I get this player here, maybe he'll come back around to me. But you don't know. Like obviously in this, it goes a lot by projections, but you don't necessarily know who some of your league mates are going to value. If you played with them in a while, maybe you do know. But I don't know. Tight end it's a little high for me to go tight end. I usually wait on tight end.
Yep.
I love my Iowa tight ends, but second round, that's pretty rich. I'm gonna go ahead and go with. Oh yeah, I have just not gone with Saquon in many drafts that I've been in, but I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Saquon because yeah, he is kind of that guy. And let's go down here. Okay.
So Jacobs and ETN went right before you.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. See, Laporta went. So no matter what you picked there, they weren't coming back to you.
No. So you brought up Jacobs earlier, and I think Jacobs is an interesting player here because I I have injury concerns about him, right?
Yep.
But and obviously he's a Packer, so I don't want to root for him to do well, right? But when you look at a running back that's going to be an unquestioned workhorse, Jacobs is the guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I mean that's kind of what you want.
Well,
If you
he's a
want
top 10 running back in every list that you see, though.
yeah,
It's wild, isn't it?
it is. It is.
I mean, would
Yeah.
you want Derrick Henry, Pacheco, White, Cook, Mixon, Kenneth Walker over him? There might be an argument for that.
There could be, yeah.
The one thing, though, I think for you, and this is just me, if you look, if you're wanting DJ Moore, now's the time to do it. Or if you want a wide receiver that's above him, that's another opportunity there as well. You actually have a lot of you could go any way you wanted in this one.
This is interesting, some of the rankings here on some of these players, but I'm not an Ayuk fan, and we don't know if he's going to still be with the 49ers, so we don't necessarily know his situation at this time, right? And it's too early of quarterback for me. And I mean, Travis Kelce, that's kind of enticing right there to do a Travis Kelce, because he basically is their wide receiver one. Stephon Diggs, I just don't know what he's going to be in that Houston offense with Tank and with Nico. And so where we're at now, I think I'm running out of time here, but
5 seconds. You got lost.
Pacheco. Oh, yeah. Some of these running backs might not get back to me either. And we don't necessarily know. Oh, I got 30 seconds here. We don't know what Derrick Henry is going to be. I am going to take a dark horse here. I'm going to go Rashad White.
And he's actually quite good in PPR.
He is, and he's the unquestioned number one running back in that offense. So
this is what I would do here is, okay, so Kelce just went before me. I would have taken Kelce here. But what I want is DJ Moore here. But because I think I can get him around the corner, I'm going to gamble, and I'm going to go a running back. I'll just go Pacheco here to start, and then hope that DJ Moore gets always getting to me for sure. And then DJ Moore's here. So I could go Deebo Samuels. I could go DJ Moore. That would be awesome.
All right. Yeah, the wide receivers are all going now. So I've got one wide receiver. And who we got still on the board?
The wide receiver spot's actually interesting for you, Andy, because you've got the Cooper Kupp thing you were talking about. Devontae Smith is a stud, and Waddle can be pretty good as well.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, when you want your top two stud wide receivers, stud running backs, you want them to, they're going to get most of the target share. I don't know what to think about Waddle, right? Tyreek, Hill is going to be there. And I just don't know what to think about Malik Neighbors either, because I obviously hate his quarterback situation. This is really not fallen to me the way I would, be excited about. I love me some Cooper Kupp. I feel like sometimes different mock drafts or different systems try to force feed different players, right? And I just don't know if Malik Neighbors, if I would go with Malik Neighbors ahead of like a Cooper Kupp. I mean, oh man, the quarterback too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait. And who else we got here? Ooh, yeah. You definitely have some other wide receivers that can, you can get a little bit later too. I'm going to go ahead and go with Cooper Kupp here because I still think he has what it takes. All right, now it's back to me. So Devontae Smith is another one that went. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's a great player. Great player. So too bad he didn't fall to you there. But, I mean, you've got a lot of options. There's a lot of good running backs there still.
So it's interesting. Both of us went 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. I think just, both of us, like to be pretty just, even keel, try to get, the whole roster filled, at least have the starting lineup instead of reach for other players. What do you think about so CJ Stroud had an amazing.
It's now or never if you want Stroud.
It is. He had an amazing rookie year. They're Burrow's still there. My guy Caleb Williams is still there. You still could get some decent quarterbacks later on, and if everyone's believing in Marvin Harrison, maybe even Kyler Murray. I mean, but CJ Stroud, I mean, he puts up some big numbers, right?
Yep.
I'm going CJ Stroud here.
Great. Okay, so right, I'm going to go. Man, this is going to be tough. Okay, so wide receiver, Allen Higgins. Wow, there's some good wide receivers. Okay, tight end. I'm going to go Mark Andrews or Kincaid here. I like them a lot. And then I'm going to go probably with Aaron Jones because I just have a huge feeling he's going to have a great year there. Now, Andy, I've got a crazy situation. I just need to call the bathroom really quickly. So I need to run to just quickly do that. So I'm going to make my 2 picks. If you want to continue with your picks, kind of talking about it, you can pause the draft or you can just continue and then whatever it picks for me, it picks. But I'll be right back.
All right.
So I do apologize. I've never had to do that. So I'll do Kincaid for fun. And then running back wise, I'm hoping Aaron Jones gets back to me perfect. And I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, Aaron Jones is an interesting one as far as injury history. He's got to be featured in Minnesota if they want to win any games. Now Keenan Allen, obviously, we talked about previous. Keenan Allen is he's a solid player. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to get targets here. And in that Bears offense. And, quarterback wise, if you think you got DJ Moore and Keenan Allen alone, if you got either, you're later on quarterback wise, Caleb Williams, obviously it's a lot to expect from a rookie, but I mean, just with those wide receivers alone, and even some of they even do any screens or, even shorter passes, you're going to have a lot of yards from your quarterback. So you could even wait quarterback-wise and get Caleb Williams later. I think he's going to have a solid year with Allen. Pickens is an interesting one. He's so talented there. But quarterback situation, right? Russell Wilson evidently is doing well. I'd love to see I'd love to see Justin Fields get in there as a quarterback as well. So, but we got tight end here. I just don't know what Alvin Kamara is going to be. You got backup running back coming back. Kyle Pitts can be solid. Tight end wise. Jaden Reed. Some people are trying to make him out to be the number 1 Green Bay wide receiver. Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts. I do like Amari Cooper in that. Oh, and there's Rome sitting there as well. How much time do I have here? 53 seconds. So I got to choose here. I'm going to go ahead and Kirk Cousins likes his tight ends. I'm going Kyle Pitts, and let's see. So back to me. Kyle Pitts. All right. Odunze did go. Cooper went. Kamara, Rice. Obviously, we don't know what's with his legal battles. Andrews, another solid pickup. Connor, who could be overtaken by another player there as well. So we've got Connor was taken. All right. So who do we have on the board here? Kittle, obviously. I have my tight end. Got Joe Burrow. We got running back wise. Montgomery still may get some yards. DeAndre Swift. I do like DeAndre Swift in the Bears offense, and the Bears do like to run. They're going to have to balance it out. Problem is he's fighting for touches. All right, now you got Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin. I really like Terry McLaurin still. Obviously now, I think with the new quarterback, Jaden Daniels, I think McLaurin has a great year, and we'll kind of get to him soon here. One player that I really am targeting because I know that really. They're going to, with the rookie quarterback, I feel like they're going to have to rely on the run a lot. And now that Bill Belichick is gone, I really like Ramondre Stevenson. So I'm kind of going between him or DeAndre Swift. Now, Swift, we don't know if he's going to stay healthy. That's the only question on that. You still got Jordan Love out there, quarterback. We got some options here, and we got a little bit of time, just under a minute here. George Kittle, I'm just not sure about. He's kind of diminishing health-wise, and is he going to be out there? With all of the different weapons that they have. Oh, we got you back. So I'm going between Swift and Stevenson. Here, I like what Swift is going to do in the Bears offense, but I'm actually going Stevenson right there. All right.
Interesting. So that's I like your pick. I'm surprised you didn't go Swift just because you're a Bears fan, but I think you're trying to win. So that's a great move. If you think he's better, then you got to go with your gut. Good job.
I just think he's going to get more touches. I think he's going to continue to be that focal point of the offense.
Yeah. So for me, this is where it's really interesting. By the way, Andy, you might want to move the banner. Then you'll be able to see more of the stuff there. Just when you're picking, then people can see on your on the StreamYard there.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
By the way, so quarterback wise, there's a lot of great quarterbacks. There was Burrow that just went. There's Dak Prescott. There's Kyler Murray. There's Jordan Love. I'm happy with any one of those guys. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it, I'm not going to go them there. I like Addison a lot here, or Jaden Reed as the wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Running back wise, really interesting in my opinion. So I've got Breece Hall, Pacheco, and Aaron Jones. So I've only got 2 wide receivers here. So I need to kind of think this through a little bit better. I think I'm going to wait on the running back. I'm going to go wide receiver. And I have this feeling that Addison is probably the best one out of the bunch here. But Reed, just there's so many mouths to feed, right? So I like Terry a lot. I just don't know what he's going to do. Hollywood Brown's also a very good option there with Mahomes.
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough one. Okay, so I'm at a minute left. I just got to make a decision. I think it's because we're doing an NFC North podcast. I'll go Addison here. Now, these got a crappy quarterback, though. Like, I do not believe in Darnold.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, he could be a Baker, situation from last year, and because that could be a possibility, right? But
maybe I like Hollywood Brown better. You know what? I'm going to do Hollywood Brown with Kansas City.
Okay.
I'm going to do that.
All right.
Now it goes back to my quarterback situation. If you look here on their, so team 6 doesn't have a quarterback and team 3 doesn't have a quarterback. Are they going to get one at this time? Everyone else has a quarterback. So that means 2 are coming. So what I'll do is I'm going to wait on quarterback. I can go now, get that. Oh, what I should have done is taken Swift if I was going to take Hollywood Brown. Dang it. That's what I would have taken.
Right.
Pollard at Tennessee. That's not bad.
Yeah. So
I mean,
Madison's
still there.
I'm not sold on Pollard at all. Yeah,
but I mean, it's touches, right?
There.
It's opportunity.
Yeah, but that's why you got Ty J Spears there, who's already been in the offense. Tony Pollard, can he do it for a full season? So yeah, that's why I wonder about touches. I mean, now I think we talked about this earlier. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about running backs, you get lower and lower. People are fighting for touches. The whole Eckler thing could be interesting, but he's also got Brian Robinson there as well. So yeah, I mean, technically got a starting running back, but yeah, I mean, I am going to need to get a wide receiver as well. So,
yeah, I think I'm going to go Addison here just because I was debating with him before. If I could do that over, I would have went Swift and then I would have picked Hollywood Brown here, but I messed that up. So kids, learn from me, learn from mock draft. This is why you mock draft. Okay.
I'll go. So why not Reed?
Well, I love Reed. I think he's phenomenal. It's just like he's the slot receiver, right? So it's boomer bust kind of feel. I like them both. I just think that Addison's probably a little bit more talented as a wide receiver than Reed. A little more durable, bigger.
Although with Reed, they were able to get him on reverses, right, or in different.
That's true.
So I mean, that's
on why here I can't see how many touchdowns he had last year. Does it show? Anyways, this is projected.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm at 22 seconds. I'll go Reed then, because you talked me into it. The reverses, Addison's not going to get that. So.
Nope. All right, there went Pollard. All right, and so I've only got 2 wide receivers. I gotta see who is available. The whole Xavier Worthy thing, it's an interesting thing, right? With KC, we've seen this before, where the rookie KC wide receivers have been hyped up, right? Addison is still there, but I can't. I've got Jefferson on my team. I cannot, stack it that way. To me, that's a lot, isn't it? To do 2 wide receivers from the same team.
You can. I mean, if you got Chase and Higgins, I think you'd be pretty happy with that, right? So but the problem is they had a better quarterback before. They still do now, right? Like Burrow is a stud. So yeah, I guess it just comes down to quarterback play. So is Worthy better then, or Ridley, or Hopkins and Tennessee? I mean, Hopkins and Ridley, like that's pretty dynamite wide receiver core there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So here's I actually like a couple wide receivers here that are a little bit further down. A wide receiver who actually just got the most for a rookie at like the 34th pick or whatever he was at, I believe, Ladd McConkey. There's absolutely no one else. I mean, you got, people that have Josh Palmer that, haven't really, they've had games, but talent wise, I like him a lot. Another player that I like a lot as well, and maybe he might even come back around to me, is Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. I think that's going to be huge for Bryce, right? I think just having him there. He was a dog in Pittsburgh there for a little bit, and I think a new setting. I think that's going to be huge. But here, I think I'm just going to go with Ladd McConkey and go with the rookie there. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, it's coming back around. Okay, so Addison went. Worthy did go. All right. Ridley, Murray. Okay. And so I've got 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers. So I pretty much got my team here, right? So let's see. There's your guy. Actually, both your guys, Brock Bowers and Jordan Love. He's just sitting there.
Yeah, and see, I gambled, right? So
Mhm.
Prescott went, then Murray went. If I don't get him, I still am really happy with the quarterback situation that's available there.
Yeah. The problem with especially just us two being in this draft is where he's at. Auto draft, I doubt you're going to get Jordan Love. He's not going to fall to you, right? If it was,
Yeah, there's
10
other Packer
people.
fans in the building, right?
Right. Well, even if there's other, non bots in here, I think they might go a different route instead of the, straight down the list. I'm just not 100% sure what to think about Brock Bowers, especially with Devontae there, quarterback situation. I don't even like Zamir White. I am out on the Raiders offense. Aren't you?
There's value, but not great value.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Devontae Adams, and that's it. But
Actually,
Zamir White could be that surprise guy that would be maybe a league winner if he pops.
so wide
But I don't
receivers
think he
here.
will.
I agree. I talked about Deontay Johnson, another rookie, and it might be more for dynasty, but Brian Thomas could be a stud there in Jacksonville as well. That could really help out good old Trevor Lawrence. But I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, at least the theoretical money, and go with Deontay Johnson here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I know that Jordan Love fell to me. Okay.
He did, yes.
I knew he would. That's why I waited.
Well done.
But basically the point of this, what I wanted to show for all the Packers fans out there, if you want them, Jordan Love, you can get the 8th round or the 9th round. If you want him, you can wait. Also, if you're a Bears fan and you want Caleb Williams, now is the time as well that it's the 9th round that you can get Caleb Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to wait, that's just a little side note. Also, Detroit fans, you could probably wait another round and get Jared Goff.
They're going to say wait another 3 or 4 rounds to get Jared
Well,
Goff.
I mean, it depends. Right now, everyone has a quarterback except for me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take Jordan Love here for fun. I mean, that's what I would in real life. But this is where I'm going to homer it out. Okay. So I'm going Jordan Love here.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pick Christian Watson next.
Okay, so you're going with 2 Packer wide receivers. Christian Watson is he's really kind of a dice roll at this point. He's got all the talent, he's got to stay healthy, but you're not counting on him to be your number 1 wide receiver. So that's not bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and if he does what he's supposed to do, then it's like a huge, like he's a flex play that is all of a sudden helping me win weeks. But at this stage, it's worth the gamble. Look at the other wide receivers. Like you said, Brian Thomas, he's a good one. Coleman is the only guy in Buffalo, but they're rookies, and
yeah,
I'm going with the guy I've seen. Right.
What about but Dobbs though? Didn't he prove it more?
It's because Watson was hurt. So when they're both on the field, Watson's the better player, but Dobbs the one thing I like about Dobbs is he scores touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't always get the points that I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you kind of have to have that at that stage. Like last year, 72. Okay. I mean, you're talking right now PPR. He's getting he's gotten 11 points, 9, 8. Like he's just that he's didn't get high at all. Oh, this
Mm-hmm.
is projection they're saying from a low. No, that's what happened last year. So Dobbs to me is like I like him. He can turn into a number one, but I like Christian Watson better. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing. I think sometimes in these later rounds, if you already got your roster filled, you got some of these possible boomer bust players stashed on your bench ahead of time, and they've got that potential. They've done it before, so you're just kind of waiting on that production. And if you do, if it's a player you like, you can keep him and continue to use him. If not, then you can go ahead and trade him at the height, and you were kind of like banking on that ahead of time.
Yeah, and if you're a Lions fan, there's also JMO that's there too.
Mm-hmm.
This is the range you have to pick them, or you won't get them. If everyone picks according to these things, don't go off the board. So
Yeah, he's right after Keon. Yep. All right, where are we at here? All right, so I am up, and okay, so Thomas did go. Jalen Warren went. So yeah, we're 10th round of a redraft, half point PPR. So I have 3 running backs and 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers, right?
yeah, and you got your tight end already. This might be with a spot where you want to take a flyer on Caleb.
I was just gonna say that. So, like, 10-team leagues are interesting. Obviously, if you could do like 12 or higher, you definitely have to get a backup quarterback. At this point, yeah, I mean, you need a backup quarterback on your roster. Just obviously for the bye weeks or someone gets hurt. Yeah, Caleb Williams. There's so much potential there, and obviously he's at 94. So yeah, I mean, 9th, 10th. 11th rounds. Probably, yeah, he'll probably be gone.
You can wait. There's a ton of quarterbacks like Tua, Purdy, Goff, Herbert, Lawrence, Cousins, Rodgers, Stafford. Like, so if you don't want one, if you don't want Caleb there, and you're like, I'm going to wait on quarterback, there's tons, right? But if you want your guy,
there really are. So, yeah, I mean, I've already got CJ Stroud, a young quarterback. I think that's going to light it up. Having Caleb there, I think would be a luxury pick. At this point, let's see, running backs. I mean, Zach Moss is a starter. We don't know if he's going to be how much he's going to be in front of Chase Brown. So there's not really this kind of slim pickings on that. Keon Coleman, you said that's kind of who you got wide receiver wise. You're obviously, we talked about this earlier, in wide receivers, there are a decent amount later on in the draft that you can go ahead and pick up. And I don't know, as far as I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Keon Coleman. I love Caleb.
I like that.
But quarterback wise, I don't need to get one right there. All right, so Caleb did go team 1, and that was obviously their that's their backup quarterback. They were at Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes.
Yeah. So Singletary, I don't believe in. Moss, so those players, to me, I would not have gone with them anyway. Keon Coleman could be a boomer bust there. Yeah, someone. Josh Allen has to throw to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that's the best. Kincaid is the best wide receiver there. I mean, tight end, right? But and then it goes. I think Coleman's the next best guy there.
So this is interesting, where and it's probably because of injury wise with TJ Hawkinson, why he's falling so far, right?
Yes.
And you
And
got
quarterback.
right. So you got some other ones. Trey Benson is an interesting one in Arizona. I haven't read a ton on him, but obviously he's super talented. Connor can't stay healthy. I've got 3 running backs. I do need another running back, but I mean, is it just going to be, I got a ton of wide receivers. See, I mean, it goes to show I'm just not going to be one that's going to be a 0 running back guy.
Mm-hmm. And you picked right? You have 3 good running backs.
Absolutely. Ones that are going to be, at least most of the workhorses, and you still have Dobbs out there, Adonai Mitchell, maybe that be more of a dynasty. So Goddard, are you someone that goes with a backup tight end?
I mean, right now there's so much depth at the tight end position. I might,
There is a lot. There really is.
I mean, Hawkinson there to stash. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But it's without timetable to return, and then but if he comes back, man alive, you're talking about a top 3 tight end from last year. Wow. But I don't know. I think you can still wait.
I got 34. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would do it.
Goddard, Hawkinson. I might even go Goddard here, actually.
Benson. He's solid.
Benson?
Or you can wait and get Komet. But yeah, 15 seconds.
All right. We'll do Benson, kind of roll the dice here.
I think that's a great one. I think that's a great pickup. Rolling it. I think that was the smartest move there.
Well, that's the thing. I think, I mean, like you have to, try to guess where things might land, but I think you're right. I mean, there is a lot of depth at tight end, and it's kind of at this point, it's kind of those luxury picks. But really, when you talk about winning championships, right? Obviously, you have to start out well, but this is kind of where you at least put yourself in the running, like how you draft late. What darts you're trying to throw, and just kind of looking at where they are. Offense wise and opportunity, all those things kind of come together to say, okay, well, this player could hit. If he doesn't, it's not that bad, because then you can go ahead and drop them and really hit the waiver wire.
Mm-hmm. In my position here with Jordan Love, what if he doesn't pan out?
You know what I think, but
so this is where maybe if you're going to wait on a Jordan Love, this is where you're going, okay, maybe I need a backup.
Mm-hmm.
The running back situations, it's bleak, but there are still some gems there. And I feel like I've got a plethora of wide receivers. I've got
Devon, that's a good word.
Moore, Hollywood Brown, Reed, Watson. I think I'm good there. I would love Dobbs, but then I feel like it's overkill, and then I don't know who to start every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if I go with someone like Tua or Goff, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. Now, do you like Purdy better?
I don't. He had good weeks last year, right? And his system, I think they're going to really try to rely on the run. I just don't. I'm not someone who is completely sold on him yet. Can he be a winner? Yes. Is he going to be a top quarterback? I just don't know. Is he worthy to maybe be your backup quarterback? Probably. I think a lot of people are way too low on Kirk Cousins. I mean, but that's just me. So I'm running down here.
I'll do Tua.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing with Tua. Yeah, I mean, he's got the weapons there. He really does.
So look
All right,
at
and then Purdy
3
went. So
quarterbacks went in a row.
Yeah. Yep.
So good thing I did do that.
And this 11th round.
Those are the 3 quarterbacks I would have taken. Now, Cole Kmet is still there.
Yeah.
That might be a real great spot. Who is my tight end again? Oh, I have Kincaid.
Freiermuth is underrated as well.
Yep. And he's got a better quarterback now than he had last year. Not by much. See, look at Dobbs is still there available. We're talking the 12th round. You can wait if you want a guy like Dobbs or Sutton.
Musgrave is still available as well.
Yep. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do running back here. And there's 3 running backs that really interest me. One is Blake Corum. If Kieran Williams gets hurt, he's the number 2 guy on the depth chart right now. So
even though he's tiny, he's shown that he can kind of carry the load.
Yep. And he played in a great system before, right? Like in college. But Chase Brown and Jerome Ford are both guys that are on my radar. And the reason why is, like, Chase Brown, all you got to do is beat out Zach Moss, and you got the starting job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ford was a monster last year when Chubb went down, right? So I like that a lot, and we don't know his health. So I like both of those guys a lot. In fact, I would lean them over Corum there, but I could wait another round and get one of those 2 guys. I'm going to go Ford here, just because of the injury factor to Chubb. Even though I love Nick Chubb, I think he's a great player. I don't trust his health. I think he might be done now.
All right.
All 3 of those running backs went, Andy. Chase, Brown, Corum, and Ford. So interesting that happened. So I'm glad I picked when I did.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, these are the late round ones that we talked about that are either the handcuffs or could really hit. And so I've got I only have 1 tight end still, right? Which there's I got plenty of I still got my 1 quarterback here. This might be where I go ahead and go with quarterback. So you talk about quarterbacks, right? And Justin Herbert has all the talent, right? And why is he not being drafted as high?
Wide receivers.
Oh, that's part of it. But I think a lot of it is his coach now. His coach likes to run the ball. So, I think that's going to be interesting to see Justin Herbert. And, if they want to win this year, they need to use him, though, especially with, the roster. But yeah, so Jaden Daniels is over him, huh?
Yeah.
You got Trevor Lawrence there. I know you're, I don't. I'm gonna live and die on that this year on the hill of Kirk Cousins. I think I'm gonna like a late round. If he's around next,
he will
next
be.
round,
he will be.
He might even be around in a free agency afterwards. Tight end wise, Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth. That's an interesting thing. I love Cole Kmet. I love his talent. I love where he's coming. Things are going to open up for him, right? But I just don't think he's going to have all the targets that I need, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and go with the guy right there who's got there's less mouths around. I'm going to go with Pat Freiermuth. He's going to be a stud this year. All right, and it's coming back to me for my last pick. Daniels went Herbert. Herbert went in the 13th round. Isn't that crazy?
Wild.
That's what a lot that happens. Look at all the quarterbacks that went ahead of Herbert.
I know.
And Purdy. Wow. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I've got 2 tight ends. At this point, last round, you're just pretty much going for best value and just kind of filling out the roster, but you want to make sure it's a player that you can kind of keep your Cole Kmet is still there, right? QB wise, Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins. Who do you trust better? Well, actually, there's another option here, Matthew Stafford. So Lawrence, Cousins, Rodgers, or Stafford?
So I was just thinking about this. If I was to do this draft over again, I wouldn't have taken Tua there in the 11th. I would have waited and picked either Cousins, Rodgers, or Stafford, because honestly, those guys can put up numbers just like Tua did.
Yeah.
The problem is when you do with a second-year quarterback, and then you're going to, like, Cousins and Rodgers have had an injury history. So is Stafford. You're kind of really rolling the dice, but he's your backup. Some quarterback's going to come and just like blow the doors off and be a starter. So I would probably, my personal opinion would be Rodgers there. I just think he's going to ball out this year, or Cousins is the one I would pick there.
Now, on both of those players, the only thing too is the injury history, right? You know, Rodgers is sitting out OTAs or whatever. So is he
always does.
He always does that. It's true. And Favre did a similar thing. Kirk Cousins, he's coming off an injury. Is he going to be fully healthy right away? Obviously, yeah, he's not my number one quarterback. I would think like Trevor Lawrence, this has to be his year. Like he's got to start he's got to have a good year. I mean, I feel like to justify his number one status,
he just has bad wide receivers.
He does. Okay, I'm getting low.
That's the other thing. So Christian Kirk, Brian Thomas, Gabe Davis. I mean, they're fine. They're not great. You have 15 seconds.
I'm gonna go with Stafford.
There you go. Old faithful. I like it.
It is.
So,
and then
Cole Kmet and Musgrave are there for me. I like them both. Sutton, I wonder how he's going to do. No one trusts the Denver offense. There's got to be value, right? Or is he just garbage?
He had some solid weeks. He has been a solid wide receiver. Some 100-yard games, I believe. I mean, so he's been up there. That would be a nice kind of last round dart throw there at Sutton as well. What other wide receivers are there? Mike Williams, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these players are probably going to be on the waiver wire in a 10-team league here.
Yeah. So this is where like it's a gong show down here, right? It is really it doesn't matter. Just go with the guy you think has the most upside. If you're going for a running back, these are all backup running backs. I think Dottle is the only guy that has a potential of becoming the starter there.
Rico Dotto, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'll go him there just because of upside. Just see how it goes. That might be the draft, actually.
It is.
Because we didn't do kicker and defense. So yeah. So if you look at your roster, I think if you click on roster, it should be down on the right-hand side somewhere there. Yeah, close that one out. No, yeah, right there. Hit the roster button.
All right.
You can kind of see it a little better for yourself there.
I don't know if I can kind of scroll down at all.
Okay. Well, you can go up. You can go up to the top one and hit that, and then just go up from there. Let me just see if I can
kind of highlight.
I'm going to open this up and see if I can get to it. I'll see if I can get to yours. Yeah, I can get to yours here. Okay. So yeah, so you got CJ Stroud, but then your running backs are Barkley, White, and Ramondre Stevenson, and then you got Benson as your fourth. Okay, so solid. But I think your wide receivers are really good. I mean, look at if Cooper Kupp does even half of what he normally does, it's still a great pick. You have Jefferson Kupp right there. That's a great tandem. You went rookie though with McConkey and Coleman. And so if either one of those guys hits, you're living the La Vida Loca, right? So
Well, that's the thing too. I think sometimes like just when you have a run on different players and maybe not, kind of freaking out, but you have to be aware of a run on different players. Obviously, there was a huge run on wide receivers early here. But like I tried to stay, steady. Okay, I had Jefferson. I wanted those running backs, but I did sacrifice maybe some of the top wide receivers for that, maybe that depth and just that being more solid the running back position for younger unproven wide receivers, or some that are in new locations like Deontay Johnson that I am high on just because of what he did in Pittsburgh before he left there. So yeah, I mean, as far as you though, you love Breece Hall though.
yeah, I'm high on him. I could be wrong on him. Most of the world's high on him, so I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm really okay with that. I think that he's gonna have a breakout season if he's healthy. Pacheco, but that's the problem. I have Breece Hall, who's got injury histories. Pacheco is my number 2. I've got Aaron Jones. That's fine.
Injury history,
Then
though,
after
yeah.
that, it's just I'm throwing a dart, right? So
What about like Hollywood Brown? So that's not, he's been boom or bust. I think it will help having Marvin Harrison there, though, right?
no, because he's in Kansas City now with Mahomes.
Oh, that's right. Oh gosh,
So
I keep
that's
thinking.
why I
Yeah,
took him there, because I'm like, he's never had a quarterback
that's
like
right.
this
That's right. I
before.
forgot. Yeah.
And he's a
Um,
veteran. He's learned some things. So that to me could be a real steal.
well, not only that, I don't even know at this point if we know if there's going to be a suspension for Rashee Rice. I mean, there has to be
There
something,
has to be.
So like, obviously Rashee Rice could be the number one wide receiver there, but you got Xavier Worthy. That might be another dart throw as well. But
Yeah, what worries me
Brown has,
though, go ahead.
I would say Hollywood Brown has had some good games.
Yeah, here's the thing that is risk. Right now on the depth chart, Hollywood Brown's a third wide receiver under Xavier Worthy, which is shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, I picked wrong. But
You
what
never
could
know.
have I taken there?
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
So McLaurin was there. Reed, who I got anyways. Yeah, there was like Godwin, Worthy. I'm still pretty. This is where I would have taken Swift. I would have taken Swift there instead. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's why we do it. And now we kind of have an idea, a little bit more as far as division wise, where some of our favorite players are going to land. It's still it's going to be a mystery. I think a lot of times, it's going to depend on who you have fandom in your leagues, but the wide receivers, I mean, I think in camp you're going to hear back and forth Packer wise. Is it going to be Jaden Reed? Is it going to be Romeo Dobbs? And maybe as certain Packer fans will be more high on Dobbs, or even Christian Watson. So,
but if you look at my team, I went Homer. So I went Devontae, then I went Aaron Jones, and then I went Reed, Love, Watson. Like there is like, this is all Packer related. Like maybe I need to refocus and say, where could I picked better? Like, should I picked Garrett Wilson over Devontae Adams? I would have taken Jonathan Taylor there, but it didn't get to me. I would have taken Gibbs there, but he didn't get to me. So I'm still happy with Devontae Adams there because I know he's a great wide receiver. But maybe I should have went Sam Laporta there and got the stud. But I really like Mark Andrews and Kincaid a lot this season. Got him in the 5th round. I could have got either one of them in 5th round. So I'm glad I waited. But the run on running back went there. So maybe what I should have done is taken a Kieran Williams, a Barkley, a Jacobs, an ETN, HN. That's probably, if I went double quarterback or running back, I think my team would look a lot differently.
So you only have the one tight end here, which in a 10-team league is not bad because most of the tight ends are pretty close. I mean, there's a few elite ones. Obviously, Travis Kelce, Laporta is up there, but even Laporta, I mean, has but shut down. He's not quite up there. In a 10-team league, a lot of times there's going to be a tight end on the waiver wire, regardless. But I mean, yeah, you got some of these solid ones from last year. Hawkinson injury history, but Goddard is going to be solid, and but there's still some that didn't get picked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh. Well, any final thoughts as we kind of close out for the evening?
Yeah, so I just fantasy football wise, do some mock drafts, see what's happening. Even on one that even if it's just you by yourself in this, you can kind of get a sense and say, okay, what do I like on my draft? What do I not like? Do a bunch of these ones. Make sure you can set it up in Sleeper to customize it the way your league does things. It actually works out pretty cool. Obviously, in a real draft, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. Just understand that. But at least you know values on Sleeper. But do a mock draft in whatever format that you use. I think that's a really important thing. I like going back and going, oh, I wish I would have done that. If I do another one, I guarantee you it'll be much better than this. But I'm still very happy with my team.
Well, and what do we learn? If you want to win, you have to set your fandom aside, don't you?
Well, apparently I didn't do that. So
who knows? Who knows?
I do think though I want elite players, and I found I think Devontae Adams is an elite player. He's just got a very bad quarterback. We know that matters. But Breece Hall is an elite player. I think DJ Moore is in the conversation, like he's the tier under the elites. He's right there. He's right there, right? He's very good. I like him more than Nico Collins. I like him more than Pittman, and Diggs. I don't know what he's going to do. I probably would have went where you went with Cooper Kupp. I think people are sleeping on him, but maybe we're both wrong on him.
Could be.
And maybe his injuries are going to catch up with him, but man, I mean, I think the only guys over DJ Moore that I would have wanted would have been Deebo Samuel, because he's just a beast when he's out there, and Cooper Kupp. But I could be wrong on both of those guys because of their injury history.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again for joining us, everybody. Trevor, where can everyone find you as we close up here?
Yeah, RevTrevNFL, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and somewhere else. I can't remember. Oh, Twitter. X.
Good old Twitter X. Yes, NFL Outdated. You can find me on Twitter X. You can find us on good old TikTok, and we got to update that. But definitely follow, and we're getting closer and closer to the Hall of Fame game where my Bears are in, and excited about that. I think maybe next week we can talk a little bit about the Bears being on Hard Knocks and all of that, things that are coming up. But thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Thanks again, Trevor. And once again, this has been the Freezin North Podcast. And this has been the Fantasy Football Targets and Mock Draft. Thanks again, everyone.